So, what if you had a personal operating system? You know, a set of guiding principles, not to box you in, but to help you navigate this ridiculously complex world with a bit more clarity, a bit more purpose. Well, today we're going to dive into this really fascinating framework called the Pacellum Protocol, and it's designed to be exactly that, a constitution for yourself. This right here is the core mission, and it's a heavy one. The tyranny of abstraction. What does that even mean? Well, you know that feeling when you're just lost in the numbers, the spreadsheets, the 5-year plans, all these big ideas about your life, but you've lost touch with the actual messy living reality of it? Yeah, that's it. This protocol is meant to be the antidote, a way to get your feet back on solid ground. So right from the get-go, the protocol hits you with a fundamental choice. In any system, whether it's your body, your family, your job, you can either act like a healthy cell, connecting and contributing, or you can act like a cancer cell, isolating yourself and just taking what you can get. That simple binary choice, that's the bedrock for this entire system. Okay, so how is this thing actually structured? Well, the first part frames the whole protocol as a personal constitution. And honestly, that's a brilliant analogy. I mean, think about it. The US Constitution was created with all these checks and balances to manage the chaos of a new nation. The Pacellum Protocol tries to apply that same kind of smart, systemic design, but for you. They use this cool concept called fractal continuation. A fractal is just a pattern that repeats itself at every scale, big or small. The idea here is that the same principles of balance and order that govern a whole country can be scaled down to govern your own mind. It's about building a system to protect yourself from your own internal chaos. But look, this can't all just be about dry, logical systems. It has to have a heart, right? And that brings us to the second section, which is all about your why. This is the emotional anchor for the whole thing. This is where we shift from thinking to feeling. At the center of that emotional foundation is this powerful idea, systemic empathy. Just think of it as the protocol's moral compass. And the principle is simple, but it really hits home. You can measure the true health of any system, including your own life, by how it treats its most fragile parts. We're talking about your insecurities, your bad habits, the parts of yourself that need the most support. So if empathy is your compass, then indifference is the big, flashing check engine light on your dashboard. The second you stop caring about a project, about a relationship, even about a part of yourself, that's the very first signal that your personal system is starting to fail. It's the key indicator that something is wrong. And this brings us to a really crucial question for you to think about. Just take a second and be honest with yourself here. How do you treat your own vulnerabilities? When you're tired, when you're stressed out, when you mess up, do you treat that part of yourself with care, or do you just get frustrated? The answer to that is a huge diagnostic for your own systemic health. Okay, so we've talked about the philosophical why. Now let's get down to brass tacks with the how. Section 3, the practice, is where all this high-level thinking gets boiled down into a simple, actionable set of instructions you can use every single day. And here it is. It's called the 3-point calibrating. At the end of every day, you just ask yourself 3 questions. Number 1, did we connect? That's all about fighting the urge to isolate yourself. Number 2, did we nurture? Did you add value to the world, or did you drain energy from yourself or the people around you? And number 3, this one's huge. Did we prune? Did you actively get rid of one parasitic thought or behavior? Because a healthy garden doesn't just grow flowers, it pulls weeds. Just imagine for a second, what would happen if you actually did this? If you ended your day tonight with this simple little check-in, how might that change what you focus on tomorrow? Look, this isn't about getting a perfect score. It's just about the discipline of looking in the mirror and gently steering the ship back on course. So we have our why and our how. But what are the fundamental rules that this whole thing runs on? Well, that takes us to section 4, the physics. This is where the protocol tries to move beyond just psychology and into what it sees as the basic natural laws that govern any healthy system. The key concept here is something called the hermetic engine. Now, I know that sounds pretty intense, but the idea is actually simple. Instead of relying on the latest pop psychology fad that might change next year, the protocol grounds itself in what it calls timeless, unchangeable laws of how systems work, principles that apply to everything from planets down to our own lives. And here are just a few of those core principles. You've got correspondence, which is that classic idea of as above, so below. Basically, the way you manage your email inbox probably says something about how you manage your life. Then there's cause and effect. Super straightforward. Your actions have consequences, so be deliberate. And polarity, which is all about finding that healthy balance between opposites, like the tension between having a strict plan and just going with the flow. And finally, we get to the mission, because the Pacellum Protocol isn't just a tool for you to optimize your own life in a bubble. Its ultimate goal is to spread, to offer a healthier operating system that other people can pick up and adapt for themselves. It's designed to spread through what they call a benevolent contagion. I just love that term. It's not about forcing an ideology on people. The idea is that it spreads naturally, through resonance. If it makes sense to you, you use it. It's meant to work like a probiotic. You're just introducing a healthy living culture into a system. And this breaks it down perfectly. On one side, it's structurally viral, meaning it's designed to be simple and easy to share. But on the other, it's functionally probiotic, meaning its effect is positive and life-giving. So it's built to spread like a virus, but it acts like a vitamin wherever it goes. And that really gets to the core of what this thing is. It's not some finished product or a rigid set of commandments. It's a living seed. It's like an open source framework for living that's meant to be planted, shared, and changed by anyone who finds it valuable. It's designed to grow. So let's just end with this question. If this protocol really is a living seed, this little framework for building a more conscious, healthier life, what would you grow with it? What part of your own life could use a brand new operating system?